Okay, so this is going to be a bonus lesson on outsourcing. There's a lot to do with building kitchen cabinets, especially if it's a large number of cabinets, like 10, 12, 15 cabinets, and you may be looking for ways to cut down on the workload. And there's a couple ways you can do that strategically, so you still get to build most of it, but kind of save time and effort in some areas where you might just find it's easier to outsource. So there's two areas I'm going to talk about in this lesson, and those are the drawer boxes and the cabinet doors. So when we built our kitchen cabinets back in our first home several years ago, I actually bought the drawer boxes from a company called Western Dovetail, and they're at drawer.com. I don't have an affiliate relationship with them or anything like that. I've just used them in the past, and the product I bought from them was just a standard half-inch maple hardwood drawer that I bought pre-finished. So it already had a clear coat of polyurethane or lacquer on it, and all I had to do was kind of glue it and clamp it together overnight, and I was pretty much done at that point. I could, install it into my cabinet boxes. So it made that project a lot more manageable. I built the face frames, I built the doors, I built the drawer fronts, and the boxes. And this is just the one area I decided, I didn't want to gear up for. I didn't have a dovetail jig at the time, but I still wanted a dovetail jig drawers, that dovetail drawer joint, because I wanted it to look professional. I wanted it to look high end. So I felt that I really needed dovetail drawers. So I just ended up buying them from drawer.com. So I paid a few $100s for several drawers, but in the end, it saved me a lot of time and hassle. So I wanted to show you how to use a site like drawer.com. You don't have to use drawer.com, but again, I've had good results with them. So what we want to do is we want to start with the drawer boxes. So we're going to start with they want to know if you want undermount or side mount. So for our application, I recommend undermount if you're going to be using like a Bloom. Side mount's fine if you want a visible drawer runner, but if you're using hidden drawer runners, they're almost always undermount. So we'll do undermount, just kind of show you what that's like, because it's going to be a higher price, a little higher end look. So you kind of get an idea of what that will cost. So we'll go with undermount basic drawers, but they do have pullouts. The pull-out drawer would be a drawer like if you open a cabinet door and you pull the drawer out from inside the cabinet, that would be a pull-out drawer. And then, of course, more custom things like the oversized or the recycling drawers. But your basic kitchen drawer will be under basic drawers. So we'll click on basic drawers, and then you have the option of picking materials, whether you want a plywood or a hardwood or maple or walnut, beech, that sort of thing. So we're going to go with a half-inch pre-finished natural ply. This is plywood, and that's fine, but that's $34 for that one. There was this one, half-inch thick maple undermount, and it's about $60 for the drawer. At least it starts at that. So we'll click on that one. So this would be a fully hardwood kitchen cabinet drawer with dovetail joints, and they want to know a couple things before you add this to your cart. The first question they ask you, which is really smart, is who makes your drawer runner? Because this company wants to make the drawer box to suit your drawer runner. So that because they know, depending upon what drawer runner manufacturer you have, the dimensions of the drawers are going to vary. So in this course, we covered the Bloom, because that is very popular, but you could also use the Grass, the AccuRide, or any other of these manufacturers, and this particular company would accommodate that for you. So that's a really nice feature there. So you don't have to worry too much about, if you're using AccuRide or something else. So we'll just assume Bloom, and then you have the option of doing some prep work. You can do the notching, which we had to do in the one episode, the one lesson. You could do the drilling. You can install the locking devices, all that stuff. They can do for you at an added cost. So if you want to bring your own locking devices, you just want them to do the notching and drilling, $3 extra, that's not too bad. It takes that hassle out for you, but you can do that yourself, obviously. The next thing they want to know is what product length are you getting? And this is the drawer runner length. So 21 inches would be your standard kitchen cabinet drawer length, so they have it defaulted to that. And then, of course, other depths for built-ins or whatever. And then it's just your height and your width. So your height will be, as we discussed for Bloom, or rather for dovetail joints, they tend to be in 1/4 inch heights. So you're going to see a lot of these are from 3 1/4 on up. They're all 1/4 inch. So 3 1/4, 4 1/4, 5 1/4, or so on and so forth. And then it's just your width across of your requirement for your drawer. So we discussed how to find out your drawer width requirement using the Bloom worksheet. But you would just enter that there. So you can do finished, unfinished, low sheen, all that stuff. You can do opt for non-finished. So if you did non-finished, you'd have to, poly it or provide a lacquer on it. You can put a little radius on the top, or you can make it flush all the way around for an extra $10. So you can kind of really dress this up however you want to. Your bottom is going to be 1/4 inch thick, unless you specify something else. And if you go up to 3/8 of an inch, which you would for like very large or very wide drawers would require a 3/8 inch bottom, those you'd probably see an increase in price. So then you would just add it to your cart and check out. So for something like around $60 per drawer, this is what you're looking at for a more of a very high end, already completed for you dovetail drawer. So if you don't mind paying that price, now again, this is still going to be cheaper even but buying this online, because you're doing everything else, because you're doing the drawer boxes and the face frames, and you're going to do the drawer fronts to this. This does not include the drawer front. So if you're going to be doing all that stuff, and you don't mind spending an extra $50 or $60 and just outsourcing this part to make it go faster, this is a really smart idea. So next we'll take a quick look at doors. So I just kind of Googled this. When I built my first kitchen, I built my own doors, and we built them in the course, and it's not too bad, but for some people this may be one of those things where you're not thrilled about doing, or it's not something you're really looking forward to do. So I can understand that. Or more particularly, if you let's look at this first. We'll look at the unfinished cabinet doors. You can buy them primed in MDF. And this particular website I'm looking at is cabinetdoorworld.com. So we'll look at unfinished cabinet doors. But we built shaker doors, and they were very easy to build in the course. But if you wanted something more elaborate, like the beading panel or the raised panel. The raised panels aren't too hard, but if you didn't want to get into the business of using a router table or a router and all that stuff, or you wanted the raised panel with the arch and you just weren't ready to gear up to do that kind of skill level work, now these kind of doors, the raised panel and the raised panel with arch, even if you're good with the router and you're all that set up, you still have to use solid hardwood for these center panels. So you would need to get a few boards together. You'd need to joint their edges so you can glue them together. Then you need to thickness plane them down to whatever final thickness they need to be to fit inside your door envelope there. So if you know what's involved and you don't feel like doing it, then there's nothing wrong with outsourcing the doors. Now this particular website says the stiles and rails are all 2 1/4 inch wide unless you specify a different size. So that's fine. But if we click on shaker doors, I'm moving this around here a little bit, reposition this here. All right, we'll click on shaker doors, and so paint grade maple would be for paint grade. If you're gonna stain it, it would be shake for the oak. Maple, cherry is $20 a door. This is actually, so this particular website is priced per square foot. So let's take a look at a standard door width, and we'll take a look at that. But painted $30, primed $24. So let's do a paint grade maple. Maple's a great species for paint grade. I think it's a little harder than poplar, but it's a little higher quality wood than poplar. But it calculates how many square feet you need. So let's do say an 18-inch wide door that's 30 inches high, and you need one of them. Okay, so that's a $60 door. Okay, so it's the same deal as sort of you can add hinges, you can add boring for the hinge if you want. If you're using a cup hinge, you can add that stuff on there. So for another $60 here for the door, you're getting rid of that headache as well. I'm not recommending any of this stuff. This is just, I want to make you aware that you can build the cabinet boxes and the face frames and the drawer fronts, and then say like, okay, well, I don't want to get into building the doors and all that stuff, and so you're still building most of the cabinet and you're still saving a lot of money doing that. You just have to figure out if this is an option you want to take. I would say if you're going to build a shaker door, you're probably going to build that. But if you wanted to get into something a little more ornate or something with like the bead panel in it, then maybe consider just buying it. So and I wanted to make you aware that these are options. Certainly not your recommendations. I recommend you build everything you can, but if you don't feel like doing it, this is a great option. So that is all for this quick little bonus lesson here. If you have any questions, shoot me an email, and I'll see you in the next one.